ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to the ValveTime News. Each week we'll bring you the biggest talking points regarding Valve and the community. Now the news. Now we all know Valve is pretty cool, otherwise why would any of us be here? But their awesomeness was further cemented earlier this week after a recent survey by the International Game Developers Association found Valve to be the most desirable game studio in the world to work at. The survey featured data collected from approximately 2,200 game developers from around the world and looked into a rather huge number of different topics, including gender, age groups, salary, and which studios developers most aspire to work at during their professional career. For that final question, Valve beat out a number of other highly respected game studios, including Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Nintendo, Naughty Dog, BioWare, and several others. Valve as a studio was also found to be more desirable than the idea of developers wanting to run their own business. Elsewhere in the survey, we also found a section dedicated to which platforms those same developers believed is the most important for future growth in the industry, a segment which saw Steam easily come out on top over the likes of Android phones and tablets, the iPad, traditional gaming consoles like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and the iPhone. The result is likely related to a number of factors, including Steam's extremely large, ever-growing user base, recent additions such as Steam VR and in-home streaming, and upcoming features like SteamOS, the Steam Machines, and the Steam Controller. Obviously, this survey only represents a small percentage of video game developers, but it is interesting to see some concrete results from Valve's long-standing campaign to make their business as desirable as possible. That is one amazing snack room, after all. It's been a little while since Valve first released Steam Music, but that isn't to say they've stopped working on it. Earlier this week, a new Steam Client Beta update introduced several new features to the Steam Music functionality, including playlists, track numbers, and enhanced artist filtering. As you would expect, you can now create and manage custom playlists by using the Add to Playlist option within the Music tab of the Steam library. Unlike music queues, playlists can have their own names and are available via a separate filter within Steam Music, fittingly named Playlists. Steam is also now able to list the track number of songs should the song files have that particular metadata available. This, along with the improved artist filtering we mentioned earlier and the new addition of total queue duration listings, should make managing and experiencing your music using Steam that little bit easier. Several other small changes for the larger Steam interface were also introduced, including a color scheme update for the Screenshot Manager in order to bring it up to date with the more modern blue theme, and the faster startup time for the Steam client. The relatively large update also featured a number of other changes for in-home streaming, Steam VR, Big Picture mode, and the Mac OS X version, so head on over to the official changelog if you're looking to learn more. If you're not part of the Steam Client Beta, you can start participating by selecting the appropriate option within the Beta's drop-down menu on the Account section of the Steam settings. The community began speculating about the possible future of Black Mesa earlier this week after Team Fortress 2 characters began popping up all over the game's front page. After a short while, a pair of announcements posted to the Black Mesa Steam community group and the Source Filmmaker blog revealed a Black Mesa Content Pack DLC was being added into the SFM as an official add-on content. The pack, which can be downloaded from within the SFM, provides free access to the high-quality models, maps, sound effects, and particle effects originally released back in 2012. It sounds as if both the SFM and Black Mesa teams are looking forward to potentially seeing these assets used for the creation of short films for the 2014 Saxy Awards. With the addition of the Portal 2 and Blade Symphony content packs a few weeks ago, it's safe to say there's definitely no shortage of assets for you budding filmmakers. This week's main Team Fortress 2 update broke from recent tradition by not including a new song from the expiration date short. However, it did see the welcome return of layout changes for Cactus Canyon after a short hiatus last week, even if no changes for Asteroid were included this time around. While the geometry for the final capture point of Stage 1 did receive an overhaul, most of the changes were focused on Stage 3. These include a total redesign to the underpass area, some redesigned spawn exits for Red Team, and a new building close to the underpass. We've probably made these changes sound a lot less substantial than they actually are, as most of Stage 3 is unrecognizable from how it used to be, even if the majority of the track layout appears the same. The update also featured a bunch more miscellaneous changes, including some updated textures for the Dalakis bar and a few minor bug fixes. For more details on this week's Team Fortress 2 update, be sure to check out the official changelog over on the TF2 wiki, which is available via a link in the video description. While Valve's own update focused on getting Cactus Canyon up to standards, end-of-the-line map CP Snowplow was updated several more times after being released for public testing last week. The biggest change introduced in this week's updates appears to be a new overtime mechanic, which prevents the trap from hitting the train at 10% health if blue is on the point, regardless of whether red are also on the point or not. Other changes include making the train no longer slow down after being damaged, some adjusted spawn timers, a lot of updated geometry in Stage 2, and some new gates to warn players who may be about to be hit by a runaway train traveling close to the speed of light. There's a bunch of updates being released each week, so if you're looking to stay up to date within the development of Snowplow, go ahead and join McVee's Gaming and Update group over on the Steam community. Another week and another update for the Dota 2 Workshop's Tools Alpha. This week's update once again focused on resolving numerous bugs and program crashes in order to make the tools a little bit less of a burden to use. And at just over 3 lines, this has been the shortest segment in history of the ValveTime News Roundup. This past Thursday marked the 2nd anniversary since the public release of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, following an 8-month beta, that is. A birthday update released alongside an announcement blog post introduced a few celebratory features. These include adding party hats to chickens, causing confetti to explode out of them when killed, causing confetti and balloons to rise out of bombs after being defused, and having confetti shoot out of the Zeus when fired. It's a bit of a confetti overload, but at least GLaDOS' last bag is getting put to good use. It's safe to say CSGO's second year has been far more successful than its first, as the game's quickly risen to become both the second most regularly played game on Steam, and Valve's second most popular actively supported title, falling comfortably between Team Fortress 2 and Dota 2. With so many players jumping on board with Global Offensive and recent tournaments like ESL 1 Cologne 2014 reaching extremely impressive figures with over 1 million unique spectators for the whole event and around 409,000 simultaneous viewers for the grand finals alone, it'll be interesting to see where the latest version of Counter-Strike heads next. Interestingly enough, this weekend also marks 18 years since the release of the original Team Fortress Quake mod back on August 24th, 1996. Congratulations, Team Fortress, you can now drink alcohol in almost every country in the world except the US. As usual, Valve are celebrating by enabling birthday mode on all official Valve servers within Team Fortress 2, so now is a pretty good time to play if you've always wanted TF2 to feature more balloons, cake, and confetti. Earlier this week, several of the ValveTime staff came across Team Fortress The Line, a Source filmmaker short recreating the final scenes from the 2012 first-person shooter Spec Ops The Line. It's an extremely well-made video that brilliantly captures the essence of the original ending with some rather sexy animation. Having been released back in February 2014, it certainly isn't a new video, but we enjoyed it enough to want to give it a quick mention here on the show. On Friday, it was revealed by Super Time Force developer Cappy that 3 iconic Valve characters will be added to the game's playable roster when it launches on Steam on August 25th. The Ultra edition of the game will introduce the flame-spurting Pyro, the propane tank-throwing Zoey, and everyone's favorite badass ex-CEO, Saxton Hale. All 3 characters have been reimagined in the game's pixelated art style, so if you've ever wanted to punch things until they explode with the most powerful Australian fists in existence, now is your chance. And that about wraps up another week of Valve news. Expect to see a new episode of ValveTime Database pop up later this week. It should have already been out, but I hadn't recorded it yet. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to catch the new Database episode as soon as it's released. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to share our videos with your friends and to rate our Dota 2 Announcer Pack positively over on the Steam Workshop. Thanks for watching and bye for now.